The Chimera in Percy Jackson was depicted more like He-Man's battle cat, but was that accurate to Greek mythology? The Chimera was an agent of chaos and destruction, a terrible beast. In ancient Greece, it was known to terrorize the area of Lycia. It was believed that the Chimera had the body of a lion and a goat's head protruding out of its back. Its tail ended in a snake's head, but in Percy Jackson, we see it more like a scorpion tail that stings. That's probably more like the Manticore in Greek mythology. The hero Bellerophon defeats the Chimera while flying aloft on the Pegasus, the winged horse. He uses a special spear with a lead tip, and the Chimera's fiery breath melts the lead tip, but he's still able to defeat it. Not terribly accurate in the series, but pretty cool.
You should run now.
We see Chiron depicted in Percy Jackson as a mentor to many heroes. This was true in Greek mythology too. He mentored heroes such as Achilles and Hercules. There's a difference though. In Greek mythology, Chiron was wounded accidentally by a poisoned arrow from Hercules. This caused him unbearable pain, but because he was immortal, he couldn't die.
Totally normal and reasonable.
No.
Eventually, he gave up his place to Prometheus and gave up his immortality. He's also associated with the Centaur constellation.
You've seen the Minotaur in both the Percy Jackson movie and the Percy Jackson series, but how does that stack up to the Minotaur in Greek mythology? The Minotaur was the offspring of Queen Pasiphae of Crete and a majestic white bull sent by Poseidon. Now, as you can imagine, King Minos, the husband of Pasiphae, was not happy about this, and he commissioned a giant labyrinth to be built to contain this monstrous offspring that was half man, half bull. They fed the Minotaur human sacrifices. This was done either as tribute or as punishment. Eventually, the hero Theseus, with the help of Ariadne, the daughter of Minos, successfully navigated the labyrinth using a string that she gave him, found the Minotaur, and slew him. The Minotaur represents the monstrous consequences of divine punishment.
In Greek mythology, the ferryman who takes souls across the river Styx is named Charon. We saw him depicted in episode 7 of Percy Jackson.
You're not dead.
He blows the whistle to call Cerberus to stop Percy, Annabeth, and Grover from entering into the underworld because he recognizes that they're not dead. In Greek mythology, the loved ones of the deceased would have to place an obol or a coin in the mouth of the deceased as payment to that ferryman so they could enter the underworld. Those who could not afford it were doomed to wander the shores of the river Styx forever.
In Percy Jackson, Echidna is depicted as a purely humanoid woman who confronts Percy, Annabeth, and Grover riding a train.
Monsters like me.
But in Greek mythology, Echidna is depicted as a creature who is half woman, half serpent.
Are you afraid yet?
This because of her parentage from Gaia, or the earth, and Tartarus, the abyss below the earth. So she's this sort of primordial creature. She's not often depicted as purely evil.
You will be her prey.
But rather part of the natural order.
Fear's natural.
She is
the mother of monsters.
And her children include the Sphinx, the Hydra, Cerberus, the hound that guards the entrance to the underworld, and the Chimera, which is depicted in Percy Jackson.
They were my children.
She has a unique role in having populated the diverse creatures of the Greek world.
You should run.
You saw Cerberus in Percy Jackson, but what's the real story behind the Greek mythology? Cerberus is the three-headed dog that guards the underworld in Greek mythology. He prevented Percy, Annabeth, and Grover from entering into the land of the dead.
You're not dead.
However, he also prevents the dead from leaving. He was summoned in episode 7 by Charon, blowing on a dog whistle to keep Percy, Annabeth, and Grover out. The 12th task that Hercules had to complete was capturing Cerberus. He did this as part of his penance. Cerberus is also the offspring of Echidna and Typhon. That's right, Echidna, who appeared in another episode of Percy Jackson. Hard to imagine a three-headed dog being the child of a humanoid woman.
Medusa in Percy Jackson is given a lot of characterization, and she helps Percy and Annabeth to develop some of their character as well. But how close is she to the Medusa from Greek mythology? It's a story of beauty, of betrayal, and the consequences of offending the gods. Medusa is a Gorgon. She was transformed by Athena after offending Athena by having an affair with Poseidon in Athena's temple. Her hair was replaced by snakes. One look at her would turn you to stone. Ultimately, she was defeated by Perseus, the namesake of Percy Jackson. Perseus used some gifts from the gods, including a mirrored shield, so that he didn't have to make direct eye contact with her and turn himself to stone. After he beheads her, the head is used as a weapon in further adventures, which is also true in Percy Jackson. The blood that comes out when she is beheaded also springs forth other life, including Pegasus, the winged horse.